Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. DC's much anticipated and long delayed release of The Flash has finally arrived and should wow audiences thanks to its dazzling special effects and Michael Keaton's return as Batman. It's in theaters and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. Ezra Miller has portrayed Barry Allen the Flash in a few movies now for the DCEU, and now it's his first pseudo-standalone movie. Now I say that because of the multitude of cameos and heroes that do pop up throughout the movie. Now Barry Allen is always there to help Bruce Wayne and other members of the Justice League, but never gets the credit or respect that he deserves. Now his mental health isn't great, coming in the wake of his father's trial for killing his mother when Barry was a young kid. Barry figures out how to travel back in time and uses this to prevent his mother's death. Now, it's really easy in thought, but he soon realizes that altering the past comes with really dangerous consequences. He then meets an alternate version of Barry Allen, who's also played by Ezra Miller, and his buddy, Bruce Wayne, is not the Bruce that he's come to know. Instead, Bruce is older, disheveled, and is retired as Batman. He's now portrayed by Michael Keaton, thus merging the Tim Burton movies with this new one in, of course, that strange paradox that is the multiverse. The film also welcomes back Ben Affleck as another Bruce Wayne Batman and introduces audiences to Sasha Calle as Supergirl. Ezra Miller broke out into the Hollywood scene thanks to his star-making turn in The Perks of Being a Wallflower and We Need to Talk About Kevin, but they have been accused of assault and other allegations. Now I say that as I don't want to ignore their disturbing behavior, but really caution viewers ahead of time. And it's apparent from very early on that Ezra Miller really owns this role of Barry Allen in The Flash and pulls out all the stops, making him neurotic, funny, and as weird as can be. There's even commentary on how he talks too much and can be obnoxious. And Miller really leans into that, especially when we have both versions of Barry Allen on screen playing off one another. Their energy goes a long way, and yet it's constantly used throughout the movie. I think that one of the biggest issues with The Flash is just this idea of excess, when director Andy Muschietti could have dialed it in a bit more with a kind of less is more approach. This is a really big movie, but for me it's the smaller, emotional moments that work the best. And Miller is a great actor, and the tender, emotional beats always land with them. The whole third act, though, becomes really convoluted as Barry goes through this idea of erasing history to save his parents. Michael Shannon's General Zod, who we saw in Man of Steel, is back and feels very underutilized and is just kind of there as the film's main villain. This story goes so far in that direction that it then has to pull itself back in to remind audiences why Barry did this in the first place. Now, this third act is also where we have a majority of the cameos and the really fun surprises that happen, which again is not necessarily needed for the story, and they're kind of just merely there for the fan reaction. The film desperately tries to be funny, and while it succeeds some of the time, some jokes are then driven into the ground repeatedly as if we didn't get the punchline from the first time. Andy Muschietti's cast is solid without a weak link. Michael Keaton is absolute perfection as Batman. He hasn't skipped a beat with his character, which can't always be said for actors returning to beloved roles 30 plus years later. It's a really meaty role for him and not just a simple cameo that you might think. Sasha Calle is a breakout star as Supergirl, and she really holds her own on screen next to Michael Keaton and Ezra Miller. The Flash is a solid DC film that will remind audiences of the fun that can be had with these characters. The stakes are high, and it's not afraid to remind everyone that there are consequences for our actions. Erasing history or entering a multiverse doesn't necessarily make things better. I'm giving The Flash 4 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I have other movie reviews of all the other DCEU movies, so you definitely want to check those out. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment here on YouTube or on social. Do you have a favorite in this DCEU? Leave me a comment. Are you excited about Michael Keaton returning as Batman? I'd love to hear from you, so leave me a comment on social media. Paul's Trip to the Movies is brought to you by Imagine Theaters. Make sure to go see The Flash on a massive screen. I just love that theatrical experience of witnessing a movie with others around you so you can laugh, you can have reactions with all the big cameos, so you definitely want to go follow them on social media at ImagineMN. They got some fantastic programming coming up. Tickets are on sale for my movie series, Paul McGuire Grimes Presents. Speaking of Batman, I'm going to be showing The Dark Knight June 25th. Tickets are now on sale. Get them before they sell out. See that big masterpiece on a big screen again. Highly recommend it. Paul's Trip to Movies is also brought to you by Popped Corn. Maybe you can't get to the theater this weekend. Maybe you just want to sit inside, catch up on your DVR, your streaming shows. Have some popcorn on hand. Whether you want to do an online order so it's available when you go to the store, or maybe you just want to step inside the store. Try a bunch of flavors. They literally have over 80 flavors to choose from. Whether you want something salty, sweet, chocolatey, fruity, spicy, they literally have something for everyone. So go follow that on social media at PoppedCornMN. Highly recommend it. If you want something sweet, get the puppy chow. If you want something salty, try the sea salt cracked pepper. Two of my favorite flavors. Thank you so much for watching my review of The Flash. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.